Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, we are going to be working with some bananas and give you a little bit of banana care tips, but specifically, we are going to be working on removing some of the pups from these bananas. Now, this one here is in the ground, and the banana I'm going to be working with isn't going to be in a pot. It is a nice variegated Hawaiian AA banana, II banana, and we're going to be removing some pups from that today. And then we are going to be planting up the variegated banana into the appropriate mix. I'm going to go through the steps and what mix we should be putting it in, where it should be kept, the temperature range, the lighting, and everything like that for the variegated form of a banana tree. So we're going to see some variegated ones today as well. This one behind me is just a cold, hardy banana that stays in the ground all the time. The one we're going to be working with is very tropical, zone 10, zone 11. So it's got to come into the greenhouse for the winter time, and that's where it lives for the winter. But let's leave here and we're going to go see what I'm working on out in the yard. All right, so I didn't film what just happened here, but I took my serrated knife, and because this banana tree is going into the greenhouse, it was getting close to, you're not going to be able to see this unless we look up on the camera here, but it was getting close to, I don't know, 12 feet tall, maybe more. It was getting hard to work with. So I decided to cut it in half to make everything easier for the winter time. You can see this has been growing outside here for the summer. We're really dry here in the summer. It's been beastly hot. The variegation, I'm going to bring it a little closer. I don't know if we're going to be able to zoom in on this variegation here, but the variegation, the white always gets tattered in the sunshine here, just like it instantly cooks and then shreds. The green stays much nicer, but so this was my prize variegated banana that I just cut in half. So the reason I decided to do all this maintenance today was we removed a pup, and I'm just waiting for that to dry. So I'm going to show you what we're doing here, and then we're going to pot up the pup together. Okay, so we can see the pup here. I've just removed it, and I'm going to show you the hole and how the steps I went through to carefully remove this pup. The thing with the pup is you don't want to just throw a spade through it in case there's no roots on the other end, in case the corm hasn't formed roots, or in case you missed the corm with the shovel altogether. So what I did was I carefully dug with a little spoon and just hand bombed it out into a pot to save the soil that it's in. It was interesting, when I was digging down, I did find 2 more pups starting. So there's a nice one right here coming up. It's a good size. It's already pointing upwards. And there's a nice one right here that's just coming out sideways. Where I was heading was a little deeper. It was down here. And I would dig down and then spray it with the hose here. Big jet of water, and it would clean it all up without hurting any roots or breaking it off. So I could see exactly what I was working at. And I just kept doing that until I got down deep enough that I could feel underneath of it. Verify there was lots of roots on the corm here that I dug out. And then I was able to use my serrated knife, which we talked about earlier, which I just cut my main stalk with. We cut the corm off there with the plant attached. So what I'm doing now is I'm kind of in limbo before we start to pot anything up. I am waiting for this to dry out. So I'm going to give this a good 6-8 hours in the sunshine. And the same with this. Before I fill this back in, I'm going to let the cut dry. That way it has a lot less chance of rotting, as opposed to just backfilling and potting up. So we're going to be taking a little time off here. For you, it's only going to be a second or so, but for us, it's going to be about 8 hours. And then we're going to come back and pot it up in the appropriate media. These guys are a little bit tricky to pot. The variegated ones can rot very easily if they're just potted in any old media. One other thing I wanted to show you quickly, it's funny because we just cut this off not too long ago. It's been, I don't know, less than half an hour. And the growth on it is crazy. It is coming up. Oh, I can see like the second row now is coming up here. That's like brand new. So it's already like rebounding. And it's going to go from outside now, where the leaves kind of got shredded and tattered in the dry like heat. And because it's getting mid-August, we are going to give it a few weeks of real hot in the big greenhouse, where it's going to be 30, 35 every day, but plenty of humidity and plenty of water for it just to recover. And yeah, it's going to stay in there until late fall. But anyways, so that's where we're going to leave it now. Next thing we're going to do, I'm going to show you this up close, just to show you what the roots look like on the pup. And then we are going to pot it up. All right, so here we are with our banana. And what You're probably looking at this going, why is it sideways in a tray kind of buried? And the reason that I have it like this is because I was drying this corm out. I didn't want to plant this with a fresh cut corm, so I've let it dry in the sun for about 8 hours, and it's quite hard now. It's dry to the touch, has like a callus over it. I can kind of scrape at it and nothing happens. That's a key there, especially with sensitive type of bananas, to avoid rot. Why it's like this is because when we removed the pup, we wanted to not dry out the roots. So this thing is full of roots, and we can see we kept them intact even though this callus was drying, or the corm was drying. So yeah, now it is ready to be potted up. We don't want it potted in this muck. So what we're going to do is I'm going to come around the other side, and we're going to work on potting this up in a 1 gallon pot here. All right, so let's begin. In here I have my pre-mixed of peat moss and perlite. It is really heavy on the perlite. There's also some compost in there for some added nutrients. And what we're going to want to do here is I'm going to take most of it back out, even though I just kind of showed you what it was there. Gently put this in, and then we're going to backfill. So the main thing we wanted to do here was let this dry. It's also going to be important that we don't pot this up too deep. So let's get this going. The key with the mix, again, especially with these kind of bananas, is lots of sort of roughage in here. I have got, it's about a 1-to-1 ratio of peat moss and perlite, and then I added compost into the mix as well. And we're going to do this and get it snug. Pack it down fairly tight. You don't want any air in there, but you also don't want it packed so tight that the roots can't move at all. Now that we've done that, it's already pre-moistened. I'm probably going to give it one more quick drink, and then we're going to let it dry out. While these roots are forming and regrowing again, we don't want it to get too wet, or else it's going to rot the roots. Other bananas, especially the cold hardy kind, they're much hardier. You can take a shovel and just cut them, plant them in the ground right next to it. But stuff like these guys here are going to be much trickier to do. So anyways, there's that guy potted up. I am going to put him in a warm spot now. He's going to go and live in the greenhouse. He's going to have warm, humid days and fairly warm nights. If it was wintertime, or if it was even fall, I would probably put this on a heat mat in order to keep the pot about 10 degrees Celsius above room temperature. All right, I'm going to put this one over here under light. We got Spider Farmer light here, and that's just going to keep it warmer and more stable. I'm going to be able to control the environment a lot better, and it's going to have much warmer nighttime lows. So we're going to leave that one here and go put the other one in the next greenhouse. Okay, back out to the big banana now. This has had time to callus over and dry as well. We're going to say goodbye to these 2 little pups and hope we see them again soon. I'm going to replace the mix here in this hole. We got a compost, peat, perlite mix. And we're going to fill that back in. Now that the plant has actually callus over, there should be a little chance of rot. But we really want to keep this light and airy and go easy on the water at first, especially on that side. I can water on this side easier and not have to worry. But there we go. This thing is now ready to go back into the greenhouse for the rest of the summer. Okay, I just lugged this sucker into the greenhouse where it is going to spend the rest of the summer and the fall under some bright lights. I have irrigation right here that I am going to hook up for it. We're going to put these pegs in. It gets 2 pegs because we want it to be special. And I'm going to keep the pegs away from the side we just worked on. So anyways, I think it's already, since the beginning of this video, because I've been filming it for today, we had to let the rhizomes dry out and stuff. The banana is actually grown about this much out of the tip of it just since cutting it off earlier today. It's quite amazing. But anyways, I hope you like this video. And if you want to see more videos like this, make sure you subscribe to my channel. As always, thanks for watching.